Hi, I'm Dave from Boyinaband. There we go. I've never spent 3 months growing a joke before. I actually haven't posted a video since March, and I haven't even freaking tweeted since mid-May. And it's weird because I've been having the most success I've ever had in my life and the least motivation to do anything. When I was planning to make this video, I kept thinking, how can I make this more shareable, or how can I make it more relatable and useful? And I think it specifically shouldn't be. I want you to understand me a bit better, and I feel like if I try to make this more shareable or relatable, then I might not get across accurately what I'm feeling. Apart from that, another first for me was that I've never received so many messages from people being like, where are you? I hope you're okay, and stuff like this. Pretty much all of them were, I hope you're okay, as opposed to, do this thing that I feel you owe me, which is a testament to how considerate you guys tend to be. So I'm going to do my best to recount this as honestly and clearly as possible, and even if that isn't shareable or relatable or whatever, at least it'll be accurate. Right now, I hate myself. I'm gonna give some context. Rewinding a bit, at the start of the year I made a goal to consistently release videos every week, culminating in this Facebook post that I made, which, summarizing it, described how I was incredibly stressed. And what I didn't realize when I posted this post was that was a smaller symptom of a problem I've had for a long time. A lot of people say like, oh, but you seem so confident in your videos, like how can you hate yourself? And to clarify that, I am self-confident in terms of my skill, but not in terms of my motivation. So whenever it comes to being motivated enough to do something and I fail, I beat myself up hard about it. And I didn't want to say anything to you because no one wants to hear about this because it's not shareable or fun, and in general I just didn't want to be whiny, but I think it's important to admit when things aren't good. Anyway, after this post, the next day I released Don't Stay in School and it did incredibly well, but that type of content is so draining and difficult to make. It was really hard to follow up on it. And what it feels like is like this physical sickness that just pushes me away from even thinking about doing something. It's not a conscious, this is why I don't want to do it, and logic doesn't seem to affect it. Usually what drives me in the past has been hating myself so much that I push through that even though it makes me feel sick, which doesn't sound very healthy at all. Eventually, my sister and mom suggested that I see a therapist, which I have never done before, and it felt a bit weird, but I wasn't against it, so sure, why not? So I started talking to someone, and I was still wasting time. I felt like I wasn't even writing at that point. I told her about things that I'd previously done to try and motivate myself, like setting arbitrary deadlines, reading books, writing about it, like journaling type stuff, eating more healthily, and meditation, and like exercise even as if that's a big deal. I think possibly the worst thing, and maybe part of the root of the issue that I've got, is that I don't know what I'm feeling most of the time. I feel incredibly emotionally disconnected. Like, if it's not a really intense feeling, I am a black box. I have no clue what's going on in there. And it's not me keeping my emotions to myself because I talk about them openly and freely with my friends when I do feel them. And it's not me burying things deep down because I want to talk about them. Oh, it's just my freaking brain won't tell me what is wrong. Like, most people are able to explain what they're feeling in a given situation, but I can only seem to guess what I'm feeling judging from how I act. It's like there's a noise gate on my emotions, and unless it's over a certain threshold, I can't tell what it is at all, to use a really geeky producer analogy there. I wasn't really sure what to expect when I had a therapist. I felt a bit silly for about 15 minutes, but then it was totally fine. And there was nothing immediately amazing, but over time there has been some things which have come up that I think might help. She suggested ACT, which is Acceptance Commitment Therapy. So ACT, instead of trying to push your feelings and thoughts away, you accept that they exist and they are inevitable, and you do exercises to understand them and to recognize when you are feeling them. So eventually you can, even though you are still going to feel these emotions, distance yourself from them long enough to logically choose what you want to do, so you don't let them control you. My therapist came up with a great analogy for this, like if you, like, imagine someone that you really don't like, and you hear a knock at the door, and you open the door and they're standing there like, hey, and you're like, you want a cup of coffee? And like that, they're gonna be sitting in your kitchen, but you just say, all right, you be there, I'm gonna be over here doing my thing. So you don't let them ruin your day. An example of one of these exercises would be that you give your feeling or thought an intensity from 1 to 10, and you give it a shape and a colour, and this kind of visualization really helps you to understand what it is and to kind of put it somewhere that isn't like so all-consuming mentally. So eventually, after therapy and a lot of reading, I came to a conclusion. I want to deal with the fundamental issue of me hating myself into working to see if that makes me more consistent and happy. And this is the first time I've tried to address this issue of hating myself into proactivity. So I've been trying to figure out what I value and can I use another method to motivate myself other than self-hatred? Because as it stands right now, deep down, I still hate myself, but the rational part of my brain is getting much better at caring for myself like I would care for another person that was having this kind of problem. This is a fundamental change to my personality, so I don't expect it to be quick, and I haven't figured this out yet, but I am slowly starting to get myself into a routine of working not based on self-hatred, which is how I've released this video. So the more I stress and push myself to work, the less work I will get done. My therapist said it's like quicksand. It's the more you struggle to work, the more you will sink under, and apparently in quicksand, if you could do this and just kind of relax, you'll get taken to the top. I thought you just died. So when she said that, I thought it was a terrible analogy, but apparently it's not. I want to base my new method of motivation on something I really care about. So now I've got to figure out accurately what I deeply value to know how to motivate myself. And I hope you'll be patient with me while I ramp up to being able to release videos again. I actually wrote here in the notes for this video to come up with a strong ending, but I think that's part of the problem. The real life is messy. If you got anything from this video, brilliant, but there is no obvious message. I don't know where this is going yet, and I will keep you informed. I will do my best to. Now that I've explained this, I feel a lot more comfortable that you understand why I'm doing this. I will try to post on Facebook and Twitter and Tumblr and everything more frequently to keep you updated with how I'm getting on. And as soon as I am ready, I will post videos again. Hopefully, much more consistently, because I don't hate myself. Cheers for watching and have a nice day.